Hey everybody, this video is sort of a supplement to the first unit of our geometry textbook. We're going to take a break from geometry and we're going to talk about some algebra skills, specifically finding the midpoint of a segment. Here you can see in the diagram that we are given a segment and they have indicated the midpoint. We are using this segment that has generic endpoints x1, y1, and x2, y2 to show the midpoint formula. So in order to find the midpoint of the segment, as you can see down below, we're simply going to take our two x-coordinates and add them together and then divide by 2. That will give us the x-coordinate of this midpoint. Then we're going to take the two y-coordinates of our endpoints, and we're going to add them together and divide by 2. And that calculation as a whole will give us the y-coordinate of our midpoint. So by applying the midpoint formula, we end up with the midpoint, the x and the y coordinates, and that's exactly why this midpoint formula has the parentheses around it, because ultimately we are getting a point, an x and y coordinate. So let's put this midpoint formula to use in an example. Segment AB has endpoints -8, 5, and 3, -6. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of segment AB. So let's start with our midpoint formula. We have x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And that's all in parentheses because we're going to end up with a point. So we take our two x-coordinates. We have -8 plus 3 divided by 2. And then our two y-coordinates, 5 plus -6, and divide by 2. And now we simplify. So -8 plus 3 is -5 divided by 2, -5 halves, or we could say -2.5. And over here we have 5 plus -6. Well, that's -1 over 2, or -0.5. So both of these would have parentheses around them. So the midpoint in fraction form is -5 halves, comma, -1 half. In decimal form, it's -2.5, comma, -0.5. So that would be the midpoint of segment AB.